It's after midnight, 2 weeks that passed since the task force crashed the spot and got the stash. Off-duty cops broke out like a rash. Dirty throwaway straps, all black and ski masks. Trying to paralyze a nigga's pockets.
We need some cops on the payroll.
Already got it.
Good.
Now my informants informing me.
Now it's retaliation and
Yeah, man, it gotta be. I don't take a loss lightly. I just might be that cat in your corner when you tryna fight me. The auto war excite me. I'm slightly nuts from these neck cuts and seeing blown out guts. Came to bars with big butts. Fine enough to be housewives, but still on the real, they just damn sluts. In the world of strays and mutts, my pedigree be shining, try to grip on my pockets, you deal with me. I'm not the one that play the background, I stay down. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. I'm not the one that play the background, I stay down. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. Now Sergeant Brown is the first to touch. He put a crutch in 100,000 we supposed to clutch. These crooked cops envy's getting to me. They gotta see the cemetery before we see the penitentiary. And for the crime of the century. And after Gotti and Scarface, they'll mention me. Wondering if it's real or just poetry. Cut off his daughter's hands and send him to him with a note from me. He must be blind and he can't see the wrath that leads to a bloodbath, a sinister laugh. Feel me, and if they kill me, execute the plan correctly. Dead or alive, they will respect me. I'm not the one that play the background, I stay down. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. I'm not the one that play the background, I stay down. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. I'm dusted and disgusted. I should've known not to trust the broad, but it takes time to get busted. I put too much into this female. Never thought she yelled my name again when I was about to post bail. Terrified of jail, she couldn't wait to tell. They bent the back, this chick cracked in a holding cell. Fortunately, I had some PD working for me. Disaster, she's ratting you out, as best you flee. They got paid an extra G for protecting me. Still bailed her out, but she paid with her LIFE. Since then, I've been low-key with the goatee, residing in spots with Glocks where they don't know me. I'm not the one to play the background, I stay down. If you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. I'm not the one to play the background, I stay down. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. And if you paralyze my pockets, you'll be found. Why did I choose to go independent? I hear that question a lot. And I must say I mean, the best way to say it is because I wanted my creative control, for one. I wanted to own my own masters. And I wanted to be compensated for everything that I do. I put hours and days and months and years into this, you know what I mean? Decades, you know, into this music. So I can't just give it away. I just can't give it away. I look at my music as my thoughts, my inner deep thoughts, my personal time, my therapy. I look at it like that. So for me to just fork it over to somebody, I can't do that, you know. I can't just have someone own my catalog. And my catalog at this time is, you know, worth a substantial amount of money. But it's worth more to me than what it adds up to or multiplies into money. Because it's thoughts for sale. And when you're selling your thoughts, your soul ain't too far behind it. You know? So the reason I went independent was I wanted to have that creative control.
About 10 have come in. They've been coming in slowly in typically big black cars with what appears to be bulletproof glass, and we've got a few pictures of some of the people. We're being kept well back from the building by an awful lot of security people, but you know, there'll be more security as this thing develops.
Again, just a reminder to stay off the property, okay?
I am. This is the line. We checked with the city.
Oh yeah, there's one right there. Hi. Hey, we're not your property. We're not your slaves. We're going to defeat the New World Order. The New World Order is going to be defeated. You realize that? I'm glad you do. Always does throughout history.
Now, I think what is very difficult for most people to understand is how such a small group of 125 men and a few women control a population base of 6 billion people. Actually, it's much easier than you think. These people work on what I call systemic methodology, meaning that you take a pie, just imagine you take an apple pie and you slice this apple pie into lots of very small pieces, and you put in front of each one of these pieces your men or women of trust. And by controlling this individual, you control an entire organization. For example, if you take Paul Wolfowitz, who runs the World Bank, through him you can control the entire organization. You don't need to control what the dishwasher or the toilet cleaner thinks or does or believes in. You just need to control what he does and what he believes in. And what he does will permeate the entire organization. And that's how you control, with very, very small power base, an entire global population of 6 billion people.
Bilderberg is making great progress toward a world government. They have created a superstate in Europe called the European Union. They're intent on creating a Western Hemisphere Union called the American Union. NAFTA is to be expanded into every country in this hemisphere. As NAFTA expands, it will take on the role of the American Union. And only an educated, informed public can stop them in their tracks.
In 2005, an arrangement between Canada, Mexico, and the United States was made. This arrangement, unannounced to the public, unregulated by Congress, merges the United States, Mexico, and Canada into one entity, erasing all borders. It's called the North American Union, and you might want to ask yourself why you've never heard of this. In fact, there is only one mainstream reporter who has actually heard of and has had the courage to cover this issue.
The Bush administration's open borders policy and its decision to ignore the enforcement of this country's immigration laws is part of a broader agenda. President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it, and he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
It's a deal that few have even heard of.
It's being done again by very few people at the very top on behalf of the investment class, but the working class of people, political officials across our country, from communities, from cities and so forth, they don't know anything about this.
This isn't some trade agreement. It is a total removal of sovereignty from these countries, which will also result in a completely new currency called the Amero.
Fall. Apart from that, I think one thing people who are dollar-based need to focus on is the Amero. That's the one thing that nobody's talking about that I think is going to have a big impact on everybody's life in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. The Amero is the proposed new currency for the North American community, which is being developed right now between Canada, the U.S., and Mexico to make a borderless community, much like the EU, and the dollar, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar, and the Mexican peso replaced by the Amero.
By default of this agreement, the American Constitution will eventually be obsolete. You would think that a situation like this would be on the cover of every major newspaper. That is until you realize that the people who are behind this movement are the same people behind the mainstream media, and you are not told what you're not supposed to know. The North American Union is the same concept as the European Union, the African Union, and the soon-to-be Asian Union, and the same people are behind all of them. And, when the time is right, the North American Union, the European Union, the African Union, and the Asian Union will be merged together, forming the final stages of a plan these men have been working on for over 60 years. A one-world government.
A globalist is someone who believes in globalism, and globalism essentially is the desire for one world government, one world military, one world economy, which on a broad philosophical basis may not be that bad. But the problem is that we are being pushed into globalism by secrecy and by deceit. And nobody's getting a chance to actually consider the ramifications or consider the methodology that's being used to push us into this globalization. And that leads to the $64,000 question. Let's assume that these globalists, and they make no secret about their desire for one world economy, one world government, let's assume that they're successful. What is our guarantee that some new Hitler-like tyrant won't gain control of that worldwide mechanism? The driving force behind globalism is just plain old socialism. Because if they want to control every person in the world, if they're going to take care of you from cradle to grave, if they're going to take care of the education system, they're going to take care of the health system, all of that requires central administration. And the wealthy elite who have the money and the power know that if they can create a one world global social system, that they can control the central authority. In other words, world control, world domination, one of the oldest desires in the history of the world, going all the way back to Alexander the Great.
Motherfucker right. Yeah, I want to add to that, man. My nigga Lowe's, he always been a brother that expressed himself, and when he speak, man, I advise a lot of people to listen, because he ain't gonna say nothing for nothing. You know what I mean? And me, myself, you know, that's just one of the brothers that's kept a brother like Flipside humble enough to, you know, to stay in life, in the flesh, instead of in jail somewhere going crazy because of me not having the patience or me not being humble enough to wait for what God got written for me. You know, if a motherfucker would have told me 20 years ago I would go through the shit I've been going through in my life to get where I'm trying to get, I probably would have told her I'm gonna try another route. You know what I mean?
Real shit.
Straight up. And because no matter how you look at life, people think life is like tomorrow is old, it's a new day. Yeah, it's old, it's a new day, but everything you did along that way, it counts. Every day counted, everything you did. It's just like a nigga going to jail when you first get to jail. The first nigga that you let punk you finna get punked all through the yard. If you don't claim what you claim when they first hit you up, when you try to get by your homies and claim it, nigga, they gon' tell them you was a pussy, you was by yourself, you didn't represent, and take your whooping or whatever the case was for being where you was. And that's how I feel about hip hop. Everything we done was already written, man, and everything we done being something that nobody thought we would have done. We was a part of a lot of shit and was a part of the most biggest West Coast rap label in the game of industry, whatever, Death Row Records, man. You know what I mean? So if you would have told me 20 years ago that it'd take them 15 years to put my motherfucking album out, I'd have said you bullshitting me.
I'd have started hitting some people when they,
you know what I'm saying?
Period.
You know what I mean? But now it was already written for how it to go. Nothing I can change about the hand of time. If everybody said, I wish I could go back and change the clock and this is what I did different. Well, I got an opportunity to do different. And that is, when this album July 12th dropped, the iconship, the shit that the world never heard, the shit that we was putting down under all the pressure we was under being around Snoop Dogg, being around the Suges, the Tupac, the Dr. Dre's, the Jewels, the Corrupts, the Dog Pounds, the Tradies, the 6 Feet Deeps, the B. Reazils, in the era when the Jay-Z's, the Biggies, the Nas's, the Mobb Deeps, and everybody was making their motherfucking music, nigga, we was right there in the class of our own doing our motherfucking thing. Because everything we was on is platinum. Don't never forget that. We had the last motherfucking cassette CD that our song was on called Hot One that sold 1 million motherfucking copies. I mean, come on. If you think about it, do the math. If you wise enough and you a rap critic, you go know yourself because you know OFTB2 as well. It's just all about us putting out a quality song, a quality album, and that the world can listen to. It don't matter what the content is when it coming from us, because you already know the content gonna be deep. The content gonna be about the streets, the struggle, the poverty-stricken condition. We speaking for our people. We are the kids that was a part of the struggle, that stayed with the struggle. We didn't run out there and say fuck the struggle, because our people come from slavery. Our people come from a lot of hardship that we cannot let just die down like that. So we gotta be the voices that speak for it and die for it. Well, fuck it, bring it on. Because here we are now, we've been blackballed, the whole West Coast was blackballed. Everybody know it, it ain't no secret, they hear our music. Come on now, man, you know. When you hear this shit, man, and you go say, okay, yeah, these niggas is the real deal. I ain't gotta, you know, even talk about Damn Near Dead, because I already know that album speaks for itself. We was straight up, we fuck a police, that's how we felt. Because we felt like we was always being unjustified and treated like motherfucking, like kids. Now we older and we got an understanding about life a little bit more.
Yeah, so we definitely getting it in, man. So we need y'all to, you know, follow this movement. Everybody who's down with the hip hop and all that, know your history, learn your history. You ain't even got no history. If you've been in this shit for 1 or 2 years, and so what, you have 1 hot song or 2 hot songs, nigga, how long was you gonna last? What kind of marks are you leaving on the world? One thing we can say, we left a lot of marks on the world. We changed a lot of lives. We started and stopped a lot of shit. We the motherfuckers who was responsible for the 92 peace treaty and all that. We didn't run out there trying to take that credit, but we ran out there and was on the front line with all them Crips and all them Bloods, and them niggas know that we was putting it in a real way, and we was still trying to keep it positive at the same time, while they already knowing flipping low some cold niggas if they want to be. But these niggas is out here with us, so they some real niggas, so we gonna ride with them. And we had the whole Watts, Compton, Inglewood, everybody fucking with us way back in 92. We always been smart. We started record labels way back before Eazy-E had a record label. We had Bottom of Watts Records, because we was trying to push our line and do our little shit. Which niggas don't know, that's why we still in this game so long, because our passion is so strong, y'all can't stop this shit. And everybody who want to last as long as we last, that's the fucking goal. Nigga, last in the game 20 years, motherfucker. Then you can come back and talk some shit. But if you just been in the game a couple of years, and a lot of these motherfucking people doing these interviews and these motherfucking record labels and all that, a lot of you motherfuckers jumped in the game and jumped out with 2 or 3 year run and all that. Nigga, we still right here, we still cracking, we still feeling good, we still flowing hard, we still a rip a stage, we still a fuck a nigga up, and we still can teach the people some shit and, you know, lead them the right direction. So that's what we doing right now. We ain't never gonna stop, we gonna forever be young, nigga, as long as we keep on spitting the real shit, the true shit. Like I said, nigga, put some work in, and then you will have a resume like mine, nigga. Check my pedigree, nigga.
The way that this can be done with a very few people, at the peak, that is because if you look at every organization today, be it a university, a school, a government, a secret society, anything, a multinational company, business of any kind, they're structured as a pyramid, which works like this. In any organization, you've got a very, very few people at the peak of the pyramid. That very few people know exactly what that organization's about, what its real agenda is, what it's really trying to achieve. The further you come down from that peak in any organization, you're meeting more and more and more people who know less and less and less and less about what the organization's really about. They only know their part. The CIA call this compartmentalization, keeping from everyone else in the pyramid how what they're doing in apparent innocence links in with what other people are doing in apparent innocence to produce a very sinister pattern. The Freemasons are a classic example of this. When you say that the Freemason secret society is involved, people think that you must be saying that every Freemason wants to manipulate the world to global dictatorship. Utterly ridiculous. Of course they don't. But if you look at the Freemason structure, the vast overwhelming majority of Freemasons in the world, they never get higher than the bottom 3 levels of degree, the overwhelming majority. But in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, which pervades much of world politics, particularly in America and other areas, there's another 30 degrees above that to the 33rd degree, which the vast majority of Freemasons never get near. And there's another 13 levels not officially accepted to exist, which some people call Illuminati degrees, which at that level, the Freemason secret society is in a different universe to the part where the vast majority of Freemasons exist, right down here. Compartmentalization. This is how it works. So every one of these institutions that control the direction of the world and our daily lives is a pyramid. The banking system is a pyramid. You go into the local bank, The person you meet across the counter won't even know what's going on in the bank manager's office behind them, let alone what's going on at board level and higher. So the banking system is a pyramid going to a peak. The intelligence agency network in the world is a pyramid going to a peak. The multinational company network is a pyramid. So is the global media, and so on. And there is a global pyramid within which all these work, in which the peaks of all these individual pyramids, banking, business, media, etc., fuse into one peak. And up there, it's speculated by many people, there perhaps may be no more than 13 families, 13 people at the peak, pervading down through these different levels the same basic policy, which is pushing the world towards more and more centralization of power. There is this like cozy little myth that is perpetuated between politicians and the media. Politicians walk the world stage as if they are the final arbiters of power in the world. So when a president speaks, the cameras run and it's flashed around the world, prime ministers and such like. The media report the world as if presidents and prime ministers are the final arbiters and decision makers in the world, which means that the people above the level of presidents and prime ministers that really make the decisions, they're never looked at or exposed by the mainstream media because they're not accepted to exist.
Well, I was in the FBI for 27.5 years, and at the time of my retirement in 1979, I was the senior special agent in charge of the FBI Los Angeles office. I developed information personally about just extensive corruption in the government, not only at the federal level, but all the way down to the city and state level across this country. I have information about corrupt judges, corrupt law enforcement, prosecutors, county officials, judges. It involves drugs, involves pornography, involves prostitution, it involves cults, pedophilia. The bottom line is to take over the country and the world.
For what, though?
Power, greed. This goes back over 200 years, back to 1776, with the establishment of an organization known as the Illuminati. And if your listeners don't know what the Illuminati is, they need to run down to the library and look it up and do some research, because on May the 1st, 1776, a fellow named Adam Weishaupt, German, set forth 25 goals at the request of the Rothschild group that they needed to initiate in order to take over the world. We're talking about destroy the sovereignty of countries and destroy religions. And that's where it really started in modern day. And right today, believe it or not, and we have the documentation for this, we are probably 90%, their goals have probably been filled at the great rate of about 90%.
This Illuminati, this group who called themselves the Enlightened Ones, had gained positions of power through control of the banking system.
The Illuminati was founded on May 1st, 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, a professor at Ingolstadt University. Weishaupt obviously had been a serious student of the occult, for many of its bizarre features and symbols were incorporated into his organization. Weishaupt had been active in the Masonic lodges of Germany and found in them the perfect vehicle for recruiting into his secret order, which he described publicly as the highest level of Freemasonry. The Illuminati was formally incorporated into the Masonic lodges at the Congress of Wilhelmsbad in 1780. There were 8 conspiratorial rings within rings, advancing from the outermost novice inward to Rex, or king. The king, of course, was Weishaupt himself, who had adopted the code name Spartacus. Those in the outer rings were told that the grand purpose of the order was to make of the human race, without any distinction of nation, condition, or profession, one good and happy family. But by the time the member had advanced to the level of presbyter, or priest, His oath of absolute secrecy and obedience had become deadly serious. Only then was he allowed finally to see the ultimate goal of the order. It was the destruction of all religion and the destruction of all independent governments, replaced by a new world order, a world government ruled from behind the scenes by the illuminated ones.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
I call upon all states to join ranks in order to found the new world order of the 21st century.
And people talked then, in 1990, of the New World Order. What they actually meant then was a new political order. And the question for us is how we meet and master all these challenges to ensure that Britain enhances its competitiveness in the process and realizes what I believe is our destiny of success in this new world order. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging. It is a new world order with significantly different and radically new challenges for the future.
This your boy Disaster, and I just want to let everybody out there know that I'm out here shooting this video, and it's called Real Niggas, and it's explicit as hell, but it's just letting you know, sort of like a part 2 of Get Money, Spend Money. If you like Get Money, Spend Money, this is like having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Alright, y'all. So holler back at me. Keep in touch. Go to the website www.disaster.com and you'll get all the new funk stuff. And check out all of the volumes too. The volumes is banging, man. I'm telling you. You know, and toward the second, all the way through, that's when I started doing the production. Disaster Area Films, I'd like to thank for doing the filming. This is who's responsible for all this Disaster Area Film and Disaster Vision. And, you know, they just come out here and share a little something with your boy Disaster, you know. So this is for everybody out there. If you're liking the music, let me know. If you're not liking the music, let me know what you're not liking about it. And I'll try to change it up for you. And if you want that whack shit, I can't change it up. You know, you can give me some topics to talk about, but the shit's already tight as hell. So, hey, y'all, peace. It's your boy Disaster, coming at you, coming strong, behind the scenes right here with the Challenger prop, green screen, shooting real nigga video, the interview, and during the controversy of the word nigga. And my whole thing is, this is American, I can say anything I want. Peace, y'all. Disaster.com, disasteramusic.com. Go out there, show your support. Go to iTunes, go to cdbaby.com, go anywhere you can buy some music. You know, if you got a record store in your neighborhood, if they don't have it, tell them to order through Super Dave, and they'll have it there within a day or two, right there. Or you can go to CD Baby, DIZAZTA, and they'll deliver it straight to your house. That's the best way for me. Or just download it and get it right then and there. Alright, this your boy Disaster. I'm out. Thank you very much. Yo, I enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Your boy, I'm out.